on New York City and ignore the rest of the state, which is, in our opinion, a shame when areas like Albany exist. The 400-year-old city has plenty of preserved buildings and educational museums, but it also maintains a modern flair. Keep watching to learn about all the best things to do, see, and eat in Albany, New York. Things to see. Discovery Albany Visitor Center. This should be one of the first things you do in Albany, New York. It will familiarize you with the area and its history through its many exhibits. Capitol Building. This impressive building was completed over 32 years. The process began in 1886 and was completed when Governor Theodore Roosevelt inaugurated it in 1899. It cost $25 million to build, which was even more than the price tag of the U.S. Capitol. This extravagant spending created several architectural wonders, including a neo-Gothic facade and a mansard roof. The interior features a mix of Moorish, Gothic, and Romanesque revival styles with rounded arches and geometric patterns. There are also two famous staircases. The Assembly Staircase, made from sandstone and granite. The Great Western, or $1 Million Staircase, features pictures of famous New Yorkers such as Frederick Douglass, Walt Whitman, and Susan B. Anthony. The chambers where the government meets are another prominent feature of this building. The Senate chamber is full of beautiful columns, desks, chairs, stained glass windows, walls covered in gold leaf wallpaper, and two ornamental fireplaces. The Assembly chamber lets legislators cast electronic votes and isn't as attractive but still worth a visit. The Hall of Governors houses pictures of former governors and a timeline of the events during their terms. The Hall of New York is a painting gallery full of art that depicts the state's most important cities and landscapes. The Flag Room houses battle flags dating back to the War of 1812. The West Capitol Park sits on the grounds of the building. It's full of tall trees, making it the perfect shaded area for a picnic or a meal from the nearby food trucks. Albany History of Institute and Art. The Institute is one of America's oldest museums, established in 1791. Its most famous feature is a group of landscape paintings. They were created by the Hudson River School, founded by Thomas Cole around 1850. They depict idyllic pastoral scenes, and there are over 90 of them in the Hearst Gallery on the 3rd floor. You'll also get a chance to see a range of art and historical objects from ancient Egypt to the modern day. You can also stop by the gift shop, get an appointment to visit the research library, or have a meal at the cafe. The Institute is open Wednesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sunday from noon to 5. New York State Museum. This is another old museum established in 1836. It has the largest exhibition space in New York State. All that room is used to great effect, with over 16 million natural science items and 1 million objects in its history and anthropology exhibits. There's an exhibit for everyone in this museum. If all that isn't enough for you, take a ride on the full-size 1912 indoor carousel. You can also stop by the gift shop, cafe, and outdoor terrace. Admission is free. Open hours are from Tuesday to Sunday, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Historic houses. The Schuyler Mansion historic site on 32 Catherine Street was the home of Catherine Van Rensselaer and Philip J. Schuyler. They were the parents of Elizabeth Schuyler, wife of Alexander Hamilton. If you want to see this historic building, book a tour in advance anytime from mid-May to the end of October, on Wednesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The 10-year renovation of the historic Cherry Hill House was recently completed. It now serves as a museum that displays a range of artifacts to give a sense of life in the home years ago. You can reserve a guided tour from June through November on Fridays from 1 to 4 or Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Ten Broeck Mansion, also known as 910 Broeck Place, was completed in 1798 by General Abraham Ten Broeck. Formal gardens full of colorful flower beds dot the grounds, and you can visit them for free from the end of March to early November. The Kralow State Historic Site is a restored 18th century manor house. It's also the site of the Museum of the Colonial Dutch in the Hudson River Valley. You don't need a reservation to tour it, but it's only open from mid-May to October on Wednesday through Sunday from 11 to 4. The Van Schaik Mansion was built in 1735. It sits on the National Register of Historic Places because of its part in the French and Indian War and the American Revolution. It was a military headquarters where the Battle of Saratoga was planned. Guided tours of the interior are available on the second or third Sunday of every month from 1 to 4. Underground Railroad Education Center. New York State abolished slavery in 1827, but the Underground Railroad was the slaves' best hope for freedom before then. Stephen and Harriet Myers were the primary New Yorkers in this movement, and their former home has been turned into the Underground Railroad Education Center. It's open Monday through Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. and noon to 4 on Saturday. New York Education Building. This impressive building was built between 1908 and 1912. Its front facade is the world's longest colonnade. The building offers free 45-minute tours on Saturdays at 12:30 and 2:30 p.m. The knowledgeable staff will take you through its most impressive areas, including the ornate Chancellor's Hall, the Regent's Chamber Meeting Room, and the Rotunda Hall with 36 educational murals. Corning Tower Observation Deck. Go up to the 42nd floor of Corning Tower for views you won't believe. It has floor-to-ceiling windows which provide picturesque views in all directions, from the Hudson River Valley to the Catskill Mountains in the south to the Berkshire Mountains in the west and Adirondack foothills in the north. The deck is open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Irish Heritage Museum.
Bubbly sparkling water. Get fast, free 1 to 3 day shipping when they just can't wait. Chewy.
Heritage Museum. This museum celebrates the contributions of the Irish to the development and history of Albany. Its exhibits show the impact of the famine from 1845 to 1853, how they helped build the Erie Canal, and more. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Viewcation for more. Things to do. Visit Washington Park. Landscape architect Frederick Law Olmsted worked on this park from 1870 to 88. You may know him for his other work, Central Park in New York City. Washington Park is an even more natural, beautiful, and shady outdoor space. Its 81 acres include features such as English gardens. The 5-acre lake features a lake house that hosts free plays almost every night in the summer. The warmer months are the best time to come. You may get a chance to see over 200,000 tulips bloom during the Tulip Festival in May. The park is also a perfect place to ride your bike or enjoy sports like frisbee, tennis, and basketball. You can even cross-country ski through it in the winter. See a show at the Egg or Palace Theater. Since it was finished in 1978, locals have referred to the Center for the Performing Arts by its nickname, the Egg. This is because of its oval shape. It contains both the Louis A. Sawyer and Kitty Carlisle Hart Theaters. Both host a range of concerts, comedy shows, dances, lectures, and other events. There are also plenty of shops, restaurants, and cafes in the surrounding area. The Palace Theater is a more traditional-looking theater that still deserves to be considered one of the best things to do in Albany. It hosts the Albany Symphony Orchestra, and plenty of major names such as the Rolling Stones and Jerry Seinfeld have performed within its walls. Take the Alexander Hamilton Tour. Alexander Hamilton flew back into the public consciousness after the success of the musical Hamilton. The Walking in Hamilton's Footsteps Tour, hosted by the historic Albany Foundation, will let you see many of the most important spots in his life. They include the first church that his in-laws attended, and the 50 State Street home where he and Aaron Burr began the arguments that led to their famously fatal duel. Visit John Boyd Thatcher State Park. John Boyd Thatcher State Park is one natural area that remains one of the best things to do in Albany, no matter what time of year. Don't let the cold of winter keep you away. Marvel at frozen waterfalls and snowy forests. Go skiing or mountain biking, or rent a snowmobile from the Emma Treadwell Thatcher Nature Center. Try ice fishing on Thatcher Lake. The rest of the year is equally beautiful, with flowers in spring and changing leaves in the fall. Stop by the visitor center to get a map before setting off on a trail to see everything in the park. Things to eat. Iron Gate Pub. This family-owned spot was recently rated the top breakfast spot in Albany. It's also a perfect place for brunch. It has an extensive menu of food and cocktails, including a large vegan selection. It has a charming vintage interior, walls covered in artwork, and even an entire room dedicated to the 60s and Elvis Presley. Hollow Bar and Kitchen. The energetic atmosphere and live music add to your experience at this delicious restaurant. It has an extensive menu with a range of vegetarian and vegan options. Bourbon and Wolf's. This vegan deli has a menu full of reimagined classic meat dishes. Options include the popcorn mushroom po' boy, seitan Philly, and barbecue pulled jackfruit. You can even get dessert or take some of their vegan deli meat home with you. Old English Pub. This historic eatery sits in the second oldest building in Albany. It has a seasonal menu full of fresh and homemade items. It's one of the best places to go for brunch, lunch, or dinner. Markets. Albany has several charming markets, and visiting them is always one of the best things to do if you want something fresh and local to eat. The Half Moon Market is held every 2 years at